Welcome back to Built to Last. I'm Ted Bennett. Today I'm in Detroit, Michigan at the Ford Piquette plant to find out why the Ford Model T is built to last. The Ford Model T, the first American car. Designed to be rugged and simple and built for the real world. Built for everyone. By the turn of the century, other manufacturers had made internal combustion powered cars. Some were judged as better than Ford's cars, fancier, with more features. These early cars were also crushingly expensive, available only to the super wealthy, and those features prone to breaking down. And that was the model for early car manufacturers. Sell an expensive car so that the buyer was already deep into sunk cost, so they'd have to buy the expensive and custom repair parts. Enter Henry Ford. Ford had a completely different vision. A farm boy from rural Detroit who had already been a machinist engineer with the Edison Illuminating Company and a car builder, Ford envisioned practical and affordable automobiles. In 1906, Ford wrote, "The greatest need today is a light and low-priced car with an up-to-date engine with ample horsepower and built of the very best material. It must be powerful enough for American roads and capable of carrying its passengers anywhere that a horse-drawn vehicle will go without the driver being afraid of ruining his car." Revolutionary thinking, and dare we say, aimed at built to last. Henry Ford was not new to the car building business. Ford had been experimenting and learning, beginning with his quadricycle in 1896. He'd been part of two other car companies, leaving both because his fellow owners wanted to build expensive and fancy cars. He left both to chase his vision. In 1908, at his Ford Motor Company, he worked his way through the alphabet, starting with Model A, each model improving and iterating. When Ford arrived at the letter T, he decided the Model T would be something altogether different. It would be simple, it would be rugged, it would be something that could be made in mass quantity, it would be affordable, and it would be for America. To make mass production possible, Ford constructed his Piquette plant in Detroit. Piquette was a purpose-built automotive assembly factory. Up to this point, expensive and fussy automobiles had been built one piece at a time with custom parts and by workers walking around the room collecting materials. At this time, each car was really one of a kind. And at the start of 1909, the total number of Model Ts made by Ford was 10,000. Even this number was staggering for the day. However, Ford saw enormous opportunity for cutting down extra efforts by reducing the number of jobs that each worker performed. He envisioned an assembly line. Each car built with interchangeable parts and the production at a rate unseen in the world today. Ford moved production to a new plant in Highland Park, and by 1911, the production had tripled to 30,000 cars a year. And in 1913, production was up to 170,000 cars per year. And each year, Ford made improvements to the assembly process to improve the quality of the automobile while reducing the cost of the car. By producing in massive quantities, the profit made on each car went down, and so did the price. The first Model Ts rolled off the line at an $850 price tag in 1908. Production increased further, and prices went even lower. And after 19 years of production, the price of a brand new Model T was only $250 in 1927, the equivalent of $5,000 in today's money. At the end of the 19-year cycle, Ford had manufactured a whopping 15 million Model Ts, a figure that was not eclipsed until 1972 with the Volkswagen Beetle. Incidentally, a very similarly built, rugged, and simple car. Along the way, Ford changed the way Americans worked, offering nearly double the daily wage, $5 a day, with some strings attached, of course. The Model T was not just affordable, it was lightweight and strong, simple and rugged. American drivers fell in love with their Ts. They gave them nicknames like Miss Betsy, or most famously, the Tin Lizzie. The T was revolutionary, the T was practical, and the T ran everywhere. At the turn of the century, America really didn't have paved roads. In fact, by today's standards, there were no roads. Legend has it there were even less than 100 miles of paved roadways in America in 1900. The Model T was designed to run on any road surface. Dirt roads, axle-deep mud, or sloppy manure-covered tracks. Roads followed the land, and roads really weren't maintained. Steep slopes, river fords, and treacherous ruts. The frame and suspension and motor mounts of the Tin Lizzie flexed to tackle any road condition. And today, there are 8 trim levels for the simple F-150, with an almost infinite array of options. The Model T came with increasingly more basic components. Originally, the T came in a variety of colors, but even that was discarded in the bid for an automobile that met Ford's specifications of simple, affordable, and durable. When the T broke, it could be repaired by unspecialized machinists using interchangeable parts. And if that simplicity wasn't enough, your Tin Lizzie was easily modified to serve just about any other function you could think of. During my tours, I've seen fire trucks, ambulances, campers, snow machines, tractors, trucks, and the owners didn't stop there, getting resourceful to convert their Model Ts to power pumps, threshing operations, sawmills, and just about anything that needed a motor. When you bought a Model T, you bought a mobile power plant. So what about durability? 15 million Model Ts were manufactured from 1908 to 1927. In 1948, 200,000 of those Ts were still registered. And even today, estimates range between 15,000 to up to 60,000 Tin Lizzies that are still in running order. For a car to be running after something like 100 years is amazing. I've felt lucky to get 10 years out of a new car, and I guess I should have bought a used Model T instead of that new Dodge Neon in 2001. A lot of this was one man's vision, to step out from what had already been done, to challenge an industry. Actually, he built an industry. Ford changed America. Were Ford's ideals perfect? I don't really know, because I've heard and read all sorts of things. But I think it's true to say that Ford and his assembly line built something in the Model T that pushed America into the lead as a world manufacturing power, forever reshaping how we work and live. I think that change in improving American lifestyle was worth it. Ford putting people to work building something that benefited everyone. Ford planned his simple and rugged little Tin Lizzies to last forever. And I guess he wasn't far off. Henry Ford, in his autobiography, described the Model T as always ready, always sure, built to save you time and by consequence money, built to take you where you want to go and back again, built to add to your reputation and punctuality, built for business, built for pleasure, built for the good of your health. But I would add to this list, the Model T was most certainly built to last.